Hey guys, good evening. We have a new friend, Mamatha, who's joining in today. She's from Bangalore, settled in Bangalore, but from Kadapa, and she is on this particular mission to make this planet much more greener. Though we don't have space, hydroponics is something which is very close to my heart. I mean, I have been trying to kickstart this for a while, but she's already into it, and she's been doing great. So for friends who are not, I've received a lot of queries where people ask me what is hydroponics. Still, a lot of people are not aware of this. So a quick gist of hydroponics: hydroponics is basically creating or farming with no soil or minimal soil, or with less space. So whatever you can produce in an acre of land, you can maybe produce it in on your terrace. There are a lot of countries where private companies have started farming in apartments indoors with very less pesticides, because your pests actually come down. So but I should not be the right person talking about this, because we have an expert here. So Mamta is passionate about hydroponics. Her brand is called Hydrilla. I love the name, Mamta. And so can you tell our friends, how did you get into this passion, and how are you promoting this, and why is this so close to your heart? Over to
Yes,
you.
okay. So first of all, thanks for having me here, Ravi. So when I received your invite, that was the first time I checked there is something, some show like this going live, and then I checked few people, on the Facebook live shows, and the kind of people you had brought into the show, and there were I don't remember the names, but I heard a few interviews of one sir who was into road accidents and all. He was trying to
Yeah,
thing. Then
Mr.
there was a
Tilak,
small girl
Gangadhar Tilak. Yeah.
who is a blogger. I mean, such unique profiles. So first of all, thank you, and I am glad to be part of among all those people you have invited me also. So Hydrilla, actually I started I think it's been 3 years now, 3 years. So before telling how I came about starting Hydrilla, I should say, like, what I was doing before is, like, a very normal, very boring software job actually. So it was kind of, I should say, I survived. I should not say sustained. Yeah, there is a difference. So I survived for close to 10 years, and
Mhm.
then when that 10th year mark was nearing, I felt like, no, I should not complete this 10 years. It's like, I didn't want to complete 10 years in some career which I was not liking at all, where
Okay.
I was feeling stress, where I was dragging day by day, day after day, used to be counting. So there was nothing like, even if I achieve something,
Mm.
I was a very good performer, I can say, in my job. Yeah, drawing very good pay as well when it comes to the IT standards as well. But that performance in the job and the pay were not the factors enough to satisfy me personally. When I realized that, right, one day I just left my job. Yeah, there were other reasons also, like a lot of health concerns and stress related issues. So so whatever, one fine day I left my job. So when I left my job, it was like I was totally clueless. I didn't think, like, for a few months or few days at least, like, I will do something. What next? What is my plan to do next? Here I should mention one thing, that never in my career or in my life for one day also I had stayed without working, except for my sick days or sick leaves, or if I go on a vacation, some trips or something. I should say, like, even my maternity leave was only for 3 months, 10 days or something, and I had gone to back to work actually. So, and when I left my job without any next plan of what to do, that was when I just it was during like 2015 end time frame, 2000 almost 2016. I was exploring various, what's happening the outside world, kind actually. Otherwise, it was like morning to night clocking hours in the office
For the office.
only.
Yeah.
But then there was this so much happening in this, outside, many people, so many startups, so much happening out of general IT and everything. Those things I came across. during 2016, so it was all experimental only. I experimented various startup ideas and all. Some were failures as well. I tried a few things into home services and all, which were totally, with a business perspective. I had put a proper business plan and everything. The plans are still there in my laptop. Obviously, the plans which I put like that, nothing worked. Yeah. So 1 year of such trial and error, and of course spending of a little of money, from my savings and all that. Nothing seemed to be working. I didn't feel that passion and anything about this idea, so that I have to go scale it up, pitch to some investors, take it up to the next level. It was not that. Then it was during 2017 when I came across this hydroponics. So when I came across the hydroponics, right, I embraced it totally as a very simple gardening idea. One thing was, I'll just start it on my terrace. Okay. What fascinated me around was, when I came across hydroponics was, I came to know about it like a precision farming technique, where there were some, in commercial scale, when we do lot of, say, like climate control. Yeah,
Yeah.
there will be lot of automation into perspective and all. So I entered into it still with that mindset only, because I am from electronics and communication engineering. That is what I studied, and then I was working in IT, right? So my mind is tuned to that, like for almost 14,
Automation.
15 years, right? So I was also looking at the solutions in that perspective only. So I embraced hydroponics, thinking that there is so much of space to explore here. There are a lot of climate control automation offerings and all coming up. So I will so start working on that. So me, along with me, one engineer, programmer, just a small team, we started working. We brought from the market 3 years back. Actually, even procuring hydroponic systems was not so easy. There were just very few fingertips you can count vendors. So we had to go to lot, and even the scale of the hydroponic systems, the kind of crops it can cater to, that awareness itself has increased a lot in this 3 year
Okay.
period from the time I started only. So but back then, procuring those things itself for a very basic thing, I just want to have a system where I'll grow some plants for my own kitchen consumption. I will have all my health aspect and everything. Outside there is a lot of pesticide food and all that. That is one factor. Then I will do all my experiments and everything related to all this automation and all. That was the whole idea. Yeah. But it so happened that when I started growing plants, right, the entire game changed actually. There was this total different aspect which maybe I had left from the time I got into my job and all, which was my passion of science and research and knowledge, which totally came out. In the sense, just within 1 or 2 months after I started, I wasn't happy with just growing plants. I was too much involved into the biochemistry of how this is happening, and hydroponics opened that doors also to explore that possibilities. So, and here personally, I should say something about myself. I am like an avid reader. I read everything and I digest a lot of information. And it's like fiction, non-fiction, big huge literature books, whatever it is. It's like you leave me with some 3 or 4 books, and food and water in an island. I'll not care about anyone. My I can say this openly here, though I am on live, because already my family, everyone knows this, including my husband, my daughter. They say that if you have a book in your hand, you forget that we people exist in your life also. So there was then this passion of learning and all, right? It was suddenly it all woke up actually. That learning didn't that passion, that urge to learn wasn't there when I was working in a IT job. I understood the difference. when I was coding, I didn't have the passion to learn. I have friends circle who are excellent programmers who love their job actually. So then that realization hits that you were meant to do something else, right? So because there were some other people in my own circles who were excellent and successful in that programming and coding, whereas for me it is like maybe because of my understanding I can digest information and all, I was doing it fine, but did I love it? No.
No.
But when I was doing this science research and everything, I was totally in love. So it was during 2017 I started cutting it short. It's like within 3 or 4 months I was doing all vegetables and basic whatever crops, full study on what goes into the nutrition of growing those crops properly, in the sense you should get all that nutrition when you eat that vegetable. That's the final intent, right? Excellent yield, or how to keep the pests under control. All this study I was doing, and I was just sharing on one thing. I always say that there might be a lot of people telling having different opinions, but I believe that in my opinion, this internet and social media is a blessing actually. Okay.
Right.
I'll tell you, especially for here I should mention again another one point about myself. I am like total introvert. Okay, so if I have to go talk about my passion to someone, like say assume that if I was talking to you face to face, or in some thousand people one event or somewhere, right? Frankly, first of all, I would say that I wouldn't even attend that event.
Hmm.
Yeah, leave about talking. So but with social media, with like Facebook kind of platforms, it was so easy that it was just like my own heart. Wow, I grew this nice plant, and this nice ripe tomatoes, excellent flavor. All these things I was just we are posting on Facebook, and in gardening forums and all, just sharing like small achievements kind. And a lot of people started following and asking me how we do it and all. And then my love for biochemistry, I further bought a lot of literature and everything further. I my first product which I sold actually, which was during like I think just 3 months or 4 months into the journey. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's like just in 3 months of the journey, I had figured out growing plants. A person who has not done gardening before, it's like my mom comes or my mother-in-law come and they plant some chilies and tomatoes in the garden, and I don't even water them for a few days and it dry up. That was the Mamatha who used to garden like 6 years back. And here now I was actually preparing the nutrition and everything, and totally doing the entire crop management by myself. So, and all this I did just in 3-4 months. That is why anyone who meet, I especially startup and young entrepreneurs, when I talk to them, I tell that if you are passionate about your product, what you are doing, right, you will not drag each day, or you will not go and run behind some investors or something. You will automatically start making money.
Correct. Yeah.
Because for me, from almost fourth or fifth month, I started selling hydroponic nutrients, just because all any gardeners whoever wanted to grow. And then it was just a takeoff, that like that only journey. So 2018 was a total takeoff. Here I should mention that again I am blessed. My husband, he is also equally passionate about a work which you do, right? In fact, he is a person who doesn't sleep until it finishes kind. I can take uh, keeping it to tomorrow. So, and he is a total design guy. So we started making all hydroponic and the other thing which is aquaponic system, again a very beautiful thing, where you take grow fishes, that fish waste becomes nutrient to the plant, like in soil how you use cow dung and all that. So we started making all these hydroponic aquaponic systems and everything. And by 2018, there were so many people asking, and there was this lack of knowledge, that everyone was like if someone comes to my farm, the one knowledge session used to continue for like 2 hours. After
Hmm.
a point of time, though I was enthusiastic about it, for me it was not productive actually. So there I started training people, like, in small groups of 10 or 15 people, whoever is interested in hydroponic and aquaponics. So I think I have trained nearly around some 7 or 800 farmers or gardeners until date, actually.
Wow.
All the small groups only, because already I told you I cannot handle very big things like 100, 200 people forums. Mine will be all small, which caters to my personality. So the research finally, anyway, the way we went, that is where we are, like, one kind of this is definitely my present and future go always. That one confirmation came to me, not from me but from others, is during 2018. This I should mention, because in one of those trainings, actually, from my team, I came to know just one day before the training. I just asked, give me the participants list. Yeah, just to go through. There were two agricultural officers from Lakshadweep Islands
Okay.
attending the training. I was like, what are these people doing? Why should two agricultural officers travel all the way from Lakshadweep Islands and attend my training? And I was like, I mentioned to them later after many interactions. God, that training was my most nervous day, actually, because
Yeah, because it's
like,
like somebody coming for inspection.
yeah. So, but after that training, the only question they asked was, "What is your background?"
Hmm.
And I told, I'm from this engineering background. They're like, how are you doing it, kind? I'm like, just a passion to learn. I like this. That's it. I love the gardening. I love the biochemistry part of it and all. And it so happened that, they wanted to start hydroponic project there, actually. Lakshadweep Islands, it's all coral island, right? So full salty soils. You can't grow anything there. And that time, I think it was after the Kerala floods and all
Okay.
in 2017 back then. So they had no supply of even basic onions and potatoes, because everything has to go from Kerala mainland to the
Oh.
island. And because of this devastation, they were telling that, the island didn't have proper food supplies also. So they wanted to promote growing normal vegetables like this on terraces and all. And hydroponics was the kind of a default opportunity, because you don't care about soil quality, you don't worry about water quality. The whole promise is, whatever it is, you are in a desert or on your mountain or a 0 degree temperature or 50-degree high temperature which we are facing, wherever it is, I have to eat food and live, so I should be able to grow food also. So they were like, they had this program to start. So, they wanted pilot projects to be set up, and they wanted us to travel there and train some 50 or 100 progressive farmers there, actually. And I went for it. Yeah, simple. I went for it and made it happen. And that made me realize, actually, this was no more like, some survival business idea or something. There is so much of scope, so much of unexplored space in that. Until then, I only thought, like, my passion kept me going, actually. So so after that, whoever comes to me to learn, I teach them whatever they ask. It's like, even if someone attended some training session of me or mine or some system, they bought a very small kit. It can be 2 years back also, they will call and chat with me, and I support them. It is like, everyone finally, we should have that minimum right to, grow and eat healthy food. Yeah.
That's
Or even, actually, this right should actually be for the farmers, I believe. Okay. Because, you know the farmers should have the opportunity to, embrace and get that latest technology. They need not survive and what do you call, suffer with still very conventional century old practices. They should get acquainted with that science. So be it a small gardener or a farmer or whatever it is, I just want everyone to, take it up. And now again, I would say, and again, COVID has been this worst thing to happen. But I realized, the awareness, the consciousness, like, because everyone started speaking about immunity, right? So, a lot of people, the number of people approaching me to learn, to start gardening, it has become, I think, some 3 or 4 times actually
Yeah, I
after
agree.
COVID. So if it is like, business wise, my business is not hit by COVID actually, though the execution difficulties and all will be there. But what makes the things very happy and delightful is that, in the past, I had to talk, I had to educate a lot about, what by not having healthy food, what are the immunity problems, vitamin deficiencies, why should we take multivitamin capsules instead of getting that from a vegetable. All these things, I had to give this big preaching kind. Now that's not required. So I am happy that people are becoming aware one way, as a entrepreneur. I am happy that, my business kept going, touch wood. Thank God for that. Yeah. So that's about me, Ravi. Yeah.
Good. Good, Mamta. And the right time, as you said, now people are conscious because anything, when we get into that scarcity format, that's when, people, human
Yes.
beings starts exploring alternate options. And, that's what happened with COVID. Uh, One of the reasons this is very close to my heart is we started terrace gardening just before COVID, the lockdown started. And fruitfully, earlier, later vegetables were available, but earlier there was a scarcity, and we were still confident that we can grow something and on our own and do it. We also plan to go for hydroponics, and we have a small fish pond. We wanted to try aquaponics. We did complete research, technology. We also wanted to go with, okay, what pipeline, what structure we want to go with. And then the lockdown happened. Then, we said, okay, let's park it for a while. It's not very urgent, but yeah, something we would definitely have. Very close to my heart, this particular project. I will still do it. Me and my wife are like one of the guys. We want to try things out, do different things which we feel that, okay, yes, this is sustainable. Not only because of immunity, like hydroponics and aquaponics, I think the reason we should do it is that's the way forward. We should not depend. Like COVID, every interaction, though we are having vegetables available, why would you want to go and buy and have an interaction or a transaction with an outsider where you don't know whether he is positive or not? Why do you want to encourage that transaction? What if this becomes serious after a couple of months? Can't you grow on your own? So these are some questions why we should go for it. One, somebody who loves gardening or he doesn't love gardening, I think it is worth farming at home, because that gives a lot of engagement, a lot of learning, life skills for everybody in the family, from a grandmother to children. Farming
Yes.
or home gardening has a lot of life skills. If we are not doing that, we're basically doing a sin. Whether you're living in a city apartment or whether you're living in a nice bungalow, this I think is a must. Second reason, as you said, healthy food, less of issues. What I've learned is that they've got a lot of less issues because there's no soil involved, and they're not met much of pests, and you obviously don't know much of chemicals around. And you can do it anywhere, even a bedroom. And this is I've suggested this as a business plan for women, many women entrepreneurs who approach saying that, okay, can you give an idea of what to do? I said, go hire an apartment, just start. It will definitely not be a loss business. I told many of them, just start, take, hire an apartment and just start off. You can do it, or your wife can do it. Just go ahead and start this. I can guarantee you can just. And there is a concept which is evolving now, which is called buy local. A lot of
Yep.
people, I think this is something which a lot of people are not
Local
aware
and
of. So
reload.
friends, buy local is basically, let's say you're buying a leafy vegetable for 10 rupees, which is produced 10 kilometers away, and it's traveling and coming to you. The cost might be same 10 rupees, but you're adding fuel to it. There is a lot of pollution and a lot of emissions because it has traveled on a vehicle which emits. So when you buy local, you're basically reducing the carbon footprint. So a lot of friends are not aware of this. So this is, there is a concept called buy local. It is not about just buying in India, make in India. Buy local means local.
Yeah.
Buy something which is made around, a couple of
It's
kilometers of
it's
radius.
not just About patriotism or anything, actually. The
Yeah.
thing is, you have mentioned a very valid point. The carbon footprint, which you usually, the word we use for that is called as food miles. Yeah.
Food miles.
So how much did your food travel? Especially, this calculation is very important when it comes to perishable food items. In the sense, vegetables and fruits and
Products and fruits.
this grains and pulses are fine. Grains and pulses, we can store them from months to some years also. Yeah,
True.
especially rice, we love it when it is old actually, rather than the new rice. So, but when it comes to vegetables and fruits, right, they have a very small shorter shelf life, and frankly, that the quality in terms of the not just freshness I'm talking about, the vitamins and the minerals and the quality of the actual components of the food, right? In perishable food items, it comes down as the number of hours and number of days passes by. So nothing is can beat a fresh harvest. Okay, and especially in our country, coming to a country angle from a farmer's angle, this I always tell, there are still so many perishable food items. Though we claim to be like agriculture country, there are a lot in millions of rupees we are actually still importing vegetables and fruits. So that's the reason I encourage farmers to take this up. And now another point, when you mentioned, like even if you don't love gardening or do not love, please do it kind. Actually, I'll tell you, there is it is not any bias or anything. There is no one who wouldn't love gardening. Okay, everyone will love gardening. There is only this factor that this I can tell personally because I have gone through that. Okay, there is only this thing that you may not like the effort that comes with it. You have to the hard labor or the number of hours. Okay, because we all are busy.
Right.
Especially in urban now. So fine, we are sitting at home. At least that traffic commute of 2 hours, which we used to do, always has come down. But otherwise, our regular lifestyle itself is like we don't get enough sleeping hours. So it just passes by like it is okay. Now where do I insert gardening into my lifestyle? I don't have time for this. That is where actually I fell in love with the concept, especially of hydroponics, because here a lot of things are automated.
True. Yeah.
Plants need that nurturing and all that. Yeah, we have to take care of them, but still there is a lot of time reduction compared to any other conventional practice actually. So once you start it, because there are a lot of very manual effort related jobs which anyway are reduced, you will anyway love it.
True.
And you get that fresh produce in your hands and you get used to it for few times, right? Then it becomes like afterwards, next day sometime, if you didn't grow some type of vegetable or something and you buy from market, there's some small dissatisfaction there, and that will automatically put you into routine. You will tell, okay, no, I want to grow all things possible and somehow continue this, so it will become slowly part of the lifestyle. That's why I tell people, start small, anything, just start with even 5 plants or 10 plants, and then slowly do that. Yeah, but otherwise, I think that once you start, everyone will love gardening. In fact, sometimes my daughter says, you love plants more than me, because you spend more time in the garden only. It's like, if you're not at the desk, it's like either you're at the desk doing some research study, or you're in the garden. It's like that. So you'll definitely love the job though.
True.
That is for sure.
It's a fulfilling role when
Yes.
you're planting something, you see a yield, like comparing with your profession earlier, or most of us when we are into IT, there is never end to it. There's never a satisfaction point. There is never a yield because there's some or the other addition. This is not good. That is not good. So you don't have that satisfaction. Here you get an yield. After 2 months or 3 months, you will at least see, and that satisfaction comes saying that, hey, this is my yield. This is what I could do. This is my
Yeah,
produce.
that's true.
So yeah, I can completely relate to that. Yeah, maybe some of the audience, some of the friends here might who have not experienced gardening or farming. Maybe this is the right approach. So
Yes.
we also have some questions so that we get to know you well. So are you all set, ready for the rapid fire questions?
Okay. I'll try my best. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What? How cool are you if you have to rate between 1 to 10?
Fine. Yeah, tell me. You're cool. Actually, cool in the sense taking things light, not
Hmm.
being bothered much about the things, right? I can rate myself even 8 or 9 actually,
Okay.
because I take things very light. I take things very light. I'm not serious about, uh, it's like fine, some
Right.
good thing will happen. Yeah.
What are the advantages of being tall in hydroponics?
Tall.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm tall, but I will tell you one thing. I'm not. I will not say tall in hydroponics actually, but I will say like being first entry in any field. Yeah, first one to enter in any field, or being the person with a lot of knowledge in that field.
Hmm.
That helps. That helps a lot, because then there are always people who will respect you for that, because after you another 100 people might come. Yeah, yeah, because that's a usual tendency, right? If something is working, this I'm telling from a business angle. If some idea clicks, there are you see that there are another 10 companies opening
Will
in that
follow that.
same space. But when finally your knowledge of that will always place you. So I think I respect knowledge. I don't feel like only about hydroponic or aquaponic or anything. So if I have more knowledge in this, that's why I am being respected. And the same way, I know many people who have more knowledge in this field than me actually, and I have that same respect for them. Yeah. So I think yeah.
Okay. So when do you get angry? When does Mamta get angry?
Okay. Angry actually, I'll tell you, I'm a bit of a short-tempered person. Okay. So I get angry quickly. I get angry very quickly. So but it stays just for few minutes only. Yeah. So because of this reason, mostly outsiders or very just network people and all, who they would have never seen my anger. So they may think that I'm a super cool person. Mamta doesn't never get angry. Only close people will get to know that, because his short tempered things. Only your close people will get to know, your family and the closest friends, because they are the ones with whom you will definitely react like this, without waiting. So yeah, I'm quick to get angry, but I'm very quick to cool off
Cool
also.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that we have some similarities there. Your favorite cartoon character when you grew up?
Okay. When I grew up, okay. Um, Actually, I should say this. When I grew up, right, I actually didn't watch much of cartoons. I grew up watching a lot of mythology. I'm like very interested, our entire mythology, like Ramayana, Mahabharata, and all that. Okay, so I grew up watching all those things. In fact, I had watched multiple iterations of them actually, many, 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 many times. Okay, but I still have my favorite cartoon character thanks to my daughter. So what I didn't watch when I was supposed to in the age,
Right.
I
Now
watched
you
along with her. So my favorite cartoon character is Shinchan.
Chinchan. Okay.
I like Shinchan. Okay. Yeah.
It's to my surprise, a lot of people who were born in that particular area where Shinchan was really good. I think it's still playing, but yeah, I'm talking about last 5 years. They somehow even talk like Shinchan. So there is this
I
style
am
they
not.
have captured where they talk like Shinchan.
Okay.
So I was like so
Okay.
surprised that a series or a cartoon can impress the kids so much that they can start talking the same way Ching the accent and the way they talk. So
I mean, it's a lovely one. There is nothing very hype or very bad message about it or anything. Mostly, I used to watch a few, sometimes, just sit with my daughter, because, one thing, I never like to leave kids alone with, TV or any device as such. That was the whole purpose actually. So because to contain her TV time or whatever, limit to the things I used to watch along with her. But then even I started liking it, because it has good message and all. Children will be positive attitude only when they watch it.
okay, so tomorrow
Yeah.
Hydrilla wants to sponsor a movie. There are a lot of movies coming in Bollywood and Tollywood or Collywood, where Celebrities are endorsing, the new message. For example, there is Mission Mangal that has come. Akshay Kumar is, taking movies of a lot of social causes. Similarly, Amir Khan and all that. So, if you had a choice to choose one celebrity who would take hydroponics or next generation farming as a topic and want to cast it, so which celebrity would you choose? Keep budget
Okay.
aside. Let's say you had free hand to choose anybody in the industry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's okay. We can imagine this is a talk show. Okay. Um, See, one thing, my okay, here there is not nothing much to talk about because my favorite movie star is Mahesh Babu. Okay,
Okay.
so but one when you mentioned with respect to hydrilla and hydroponics, you mentioned right. So that is where I would like to mention. So I watch all his movies such that in such a way that I go to YouTube and watch even the deleted scenes
Mhm.
from the movies, edited, which didn't make to the movie. So there was one such scene in Bharatane Nenu. You
Okay.
know, Bharatane Nenu, there is one deleted scene where, Mahesh Babu talks to a farmer actually.
Hmm.
I really cursed. Why did the filmmaker delete that scene? Actually, I strongly felt that scene should have been there in the movie. So I think if any movie is done with the very core theme of farming, yeah, my answer is Mahesh Babu.
Mahesh Babu. Good one. I think that movie did really well and passed on a lot of message, good message for all the leaders out there, not only to the public.
Yes, yes, yes.
Good one. So, what is the best compliment you have received, Mamatha, in this field, in this passion?
Best, I think, like I said, right? I think I already mentioned this. When even people very high in that field
Oh, yeah.
appreciated my knowledge and all. I already mentioned, like agricultural officers. That was the first interaction with one or two agricultural officers, but that continued over a period of last 2 years. I think I have met around some 50 or 60 agricultural officers, and everyone was like, you're doing excellent. Your knowledge in this domain is excellent. So yeah. So you should always get compliments from someone above you. That is automatically the respect.
So,
Yeah.
describe yourself in 3 words, and this should not have anything related to your passion. Purely about
Okay.
Mamta.
3 words. Okay. I'm very spiritual,
Mhm.
but I don't. My spirituality is not connected to religions. Okay. I don't get at all like religious talks. This a lot of people, friends, and everyone know that I don't. I really stay out of discussions if everything goes too much into the religion thing and all. I'm very spiritual person, and then. Um, I'm total non-gossip person. Everyone knows about this. Yeah, even if there are close people sitting together, 4 or 5 people, and gossiping about it. Finally, it is like I try to just get out of find somehow and get out of that, or else just bear it and count and pray that okay, this ends soon. Okay, that so people know that I don't gossip. Then this everyone knows bookworm. I already told you, right? I have books, I don't need anything else. And I'm a foodie also. I
So,
think you asked three, I told four. Yeah, I love food. So, and here it is like even if I am grow healthy food, I know all the things about healthy food, what should be eaten and what should not be eaten. But still, I can't stay away or like I can't restrict all from the pizzas or some nice fried food and I should have those. I'm a foodie.
good. Last question. What was your memorable moment in the last trip to Leh Ladakh?
Oh, wow. Okay, you explored my profile well. Okay, memorable moment. Okay, this it's like I'll tell
2016
you.
or 18? 2016, I think, right?
I should say it's like an adrenaline rush actually. Okay, okay. So we went there just before the roads close actually, yeah, because we had this thing like, I don't want to bear too much cold, that extreme thing I don't want to have, but then I want to see the snow at least, so we chose during, I think, October time frame we went. So obviously it had started snowing when we were traveling from Ladakh to Nubra Valley, yeah. So that is the highest point in the world, 18,000 feet steep valleys. Just two vehicles can, like, almost stick and pass by. And there was this snow, and it's like, few centimeters or 1 feet gap, and you will be in the valley some 10,000 feet deep, superb experience. People will think you're crazy for telling that, I had this experience of falling into a valley. Because when we were traveling, the driver had to get down and put this what do you call it, to the wheels,
chain.
that
They put the chain into the wheel
anti-skid
for the
chain.
grip. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So we were doing all that, and it was freezing. We had to get out and help the driver. But excellent. And after reaching the other side, the double hump camel. That was the first time, I saw this two hump camels. So yeah, that's the thing.
Super. So, are you also aware of what Sonam Wangdu is doing there for farming? It's a desert. Leh is a desert, and he is doing some miraculous things where he is creating artificial glaciers to ensure that there is, Ladakh
Yes.
can produce even during non-season.
Yes. In fact, last time, after Ladakh, last year we had been to Spiti, which is almost the same kind of, the
Yeah.
terrain and everything, right? It's an extension kind. Because, we were not still happy with just one trip to Ladakh, we wanted to explore that lands. So there we explored few people, who were coming with, there is a lot of plastic waste in those areas. Unfortunate aspect of tourism.
True.
Yeah,
A lot
people
of road
dump
travel.
bottles everywhere. It is so easy to carry some metal water bottle, or else keep the plastic bottles in your car only, right? So out of all those plastic bottles and all, there were these guys who were making the greenhouses out of the plastic bottles, the structures and all. Because the plastic will keep the heat, so in the freezing time also and all, also it will help in farming. Yeah, I know, but I there, you will realize something else also, that for people who do not have everything, right, they only will come up with a lot of exploring and innovation. When you have everything, you just exploit it. You just use and throw. You don't value the
Essence of it.
blessings, yeah, because they have difficulties, they come up with all those crazy ideas which are really helpful, yeah.
Now, with all this experience, you're a mom, you're an entrepreneur, you're into farming, you want to preach the next generation of farming. You're an engineer, you are an IT professional, so you've learned or seen many phases of life. So, with all this experience, what would you do if you become the chief minister? What are the areas you would focus on? So, you have exactly 1 minute to answer that.
Okay, see, my vision of farming and all, I think anyway you got pretty much clear actually. But here, what I would like to say is, more than my vision of farming, if I have the chance to bring really reform in something else, right, I would really like to choose change into the education system as such only. Right from even, like, things like what are being taught in our history books. Okay. Our books are not rewritten and revised periodically. There is still so much of outdated things and
Content.
all, and then the total education system itself, because I always compare the way I have studied, because there was this, like, one direction set, for a horse, how you blind so that it looks only straight. That there it might be to avoid distraction or whatever, but for, I feel like, for children, right, there should be exposure to everything. There should be, like, I think, for me, it's not by default or anything. My parents, I'm the only child, they gave me the best of everything actually, but they also could give only the best of what they know, right? The rest should come from the education system from school. There is your own home, there is society, and then there is this family, friends and all. So when you go out in the society and or into the school, where you get you the idea is whatever learning your family or your parents could not offer for whatever reasons, be it their own education or be it their own limited knowledge, everything else you should get from school actually. But unfortunately, this I haven't seen. It has changed a little, but especially this change is still only in tier 1 cities only. When you go to tier 2 and tier 3 cities, I am very happy that my daughter is I am having that awareness. And then she's also studying in a school where she knows, like she's in 10th now, so she knows pretty much everything about what should be the future career options and why I should choose something. It is out of interest, it is out of possibilities or difficulty, all aspects covered actually. Like say I she explored arts, she explored sports, she explored public speaking activities, she explored academics. You explored everything, then you made a choice. It should not be like a blind thing, like in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, in schools, they still don't even explore many of these aspects. But whereas when it comes to careers, it's not just only a doctor or an engineer, right? Especially back home in Andhra, a lot of people, it's like manufacturing engineers and doctors out of homes. Everywhere it is like either you want to become an engineer or you want to become a doctor. There is so much. There is technology in agriculture as well.
Yeah.
Even in, like I am using alt only technology only, though it is agriculture. So I think our education system needs a reform, and that holistic education, not just what do you call this, ratifying of math and science, right? I think that I will bring about definitely a change. And that I feel like it will bring about a change in every field. It's not just agriculture. If you're backward in every way, any field also, or if there is an imbalance also, like I tell you my personal experience, there are so many software engineers or anyone unemployed, jobless and all. But I'll tell you, people with technical skills, like in when we are making, say in my company only, hydroponic systems, aquaponics and all that, the technical skills, all other things like mechanical, all those things, right? You don't get people at all. Then why this imbalance is there? Because when the child is studying, they were given too much of this
Theoretic.
thing about the software, elevated talk about that, and very less about the other things. So there is an imbalance in the society, and especially with our population, it should not be there. Because finally, if there is a balance, everything can be done
Everything.
here only, agriculture or manufacturing or whatever it is. So I think that I will work on definitely, because I feel like that is like a root level. You do that, every other sector will come by automatically, it will follow through.
Yeah, good point. I also agree with respect to engineering. I think if there are so many engineers out there, why are we not getting simple technicians who can help us out? Everybody running towards software is not the solution. We need people who take up different challenges or jobs in different domains. So thanks a lot, Mamta, for joining in. It was nice interacting with you and knowing you in person, and a lot of knowledge and passion towards driving hydroponics, because that's the future. We need to start farming in small scales. You don't need to have acres and acres of land to do some of these things. So friends, do follow Mamta and check out what she is doing. She does workshops, she does online workshops to give you knowledge. And it's always, hydroponics is one business which you should always invest. Worst case scenario, you'll be eating healthy food if you're not able to sell. But
Yes.
it is worth to have produce local things where your community members, people in your street, you don't have to stay in a large community. If people in your street are able to buy just the leafy vegetables from you and eat healthy, you're a big good entrepreneur for that particular street. So that's all hydroponics need. So thanks a lot, Mamta, for joining in, and have a great day ahead. Thanks for taking time out and sharing all your knowledge in this particular show.
No, thanks a lot for inviting me, Ravi. It was a good time, actually actually speaking to you, especially for my friends and my parents back home. It's been months because of this COVID. I didn't meet them. I'm very happy. Just greeting them from here. Actually, back them
Yeah, yeah.
people in Andhra definitely. Yeah.
Do
Thank you.
let me know how did they feel about this particular interaction, and so that.
Yeah, sure. I will definitely. I'll definitely share. Thanks a lot, Ravi. Good day. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Thank you,
Bye
friends. Have a
everyone.
great evening. Do subscribe.